The Backfire Striker build. This is something I've been seeing a lot of ever since the new season started and the new modifier released. And I saw little videos of people doing a lot of damage on it, absolutely destroying on Legendary. So I just had to try this out for myself. So what makes this build work for the most part is having the global modifier on. Obviously, for this is the first one, so the global modifier is hardcore. I'm not gonna kind of explain and go through it. I feel like it's a whole video in itself. If that's a video you guys would like to see, uh, definitely just let me know in the comments, and that's definitely something I'll look into doing. But yeah, a bunch of buffs happen to you, both passive and active modifiers. So the active modifiers are self-explanatory. You have to activate them, and the passive modifiers are passive. You always have them. So to make this work, we have to have the passive modifier safety first. This gives us 7.5% hazard protection for every stamina tier that you have. Next up, another one that we have is the extra padding. This one gives us 5% protection of elites while we're at tier 5 in stamina. And the loaded up pacifier, which 25% of your critical hit chance value is added as critical hit damage while you're at tier 5 in firearms. It is mostly these two, the loaded up and the safety first, that pretty much make the build. I'm sure you don't necessarily need to have this third extra padding, but I'm sure it definitely helps, and it just makes things a lot easier, especially if you're playing on heroic or on legendary. So now I saw the overall kind of idea of the build, so I didn't try to copy and paste anyone. I just saw the general idea, and I was like, okay, let me try to build one of my own. So of course we do need the backfire. So the backfire comes with the talent payment in kind. Dealing damage to enemies adds a stack of 2% critical hit damage up to 100 stacks. So that gives us up to 200% critical hit damage at max stacks. But when we reload, we apply a bleed to ourselves. And that deals 0.5% armor damage per stack that we already have. So now to deal with that bleed, this is where we focus on that hazard protection. Remember, we got the hazard protection on the passive modifier, which is, we get the increased 7.5% for each stamina tier that we have. So on top of that, we are using striker that is rolled to hazard protection. I am doing a 3-piece on that, so my mask is a blue core, and my attribute is hazard protection. For the mask, as you can see, I put a critical hit damage mod. The gloves, I have them rolled to hazard protection, switch the core over to blue, and then same thing for the knee pads. Now, I felt like that was enough hazard protection. It is more than enough, especially if you have the memento, which that's where I'll go to next. So while using the memento, we all know how this works. We have our increased weapon damage, our bonus armor when we're collecting the mementos that are scattered around after we get kills. So as we're collecting these, we are still getting somewhat of a bleed damage to us, but the hazard protection we have cuts it off tremendously. And then if you're collecting the mementos during the fight, you're gaining bonus armor, and if you're killing enemies fast enough, your armor shouldn't really be going down much. In fact, it should be shooting to the roof. Now on the memento, I have a critical hit chance mod there, and then we will go to the holster, so you can see that I have it rolled to critical hit chance and switch the core over to blue. Now we get to the chest piece. This chest piece I kind of use for a lot of builds. It's kind of my go-to chest piece because it just works for a lot of the builds in my playstyle. But I have here a Grupo chest piece. Brand set gives me critical hit damage. I have it rolled to double crit with a critical hit damage mod on it. And my talent is Obliterate because we are using Striker. And with Striker, we just want to focus on as much damage as possible. But obviously in this build, not necessarily because we're not running a lot of red cores, because we do need that hazard protection. But it still works because Striker is just overall just a broken gear set. Now on this, we are using the Firewall signature weapon. Reason why is so we can use the shield, and on the shield we have the damage bonus 1% here, damage bonus 5% here. These are for enemies that are in front of us within our vicinity of like the little pulse thing that you see in front of the shield. And then we have 4.8% shield health on there. Now to survive a bit more, I have my trusty old defender drone. I use this mostly because I have an expertise 20, so I get 20% damage reduction with it. I'm sure you can run something else like a decoy or even a pulse or whatever it is that kind of works best for you. You could definitely run something else other than the drone. Now for the secondary, I do have the rock and roll. This is just in case I do need to use it and to build up my striker stacks. Go to that. This builds up stacks on striker very quickly, especially with the talent perfectly extra. You get the 50% magazine capacity on there, so it's pretty nice. Just switch back to your backfire after you build the stacks. You're absolutely shred. But overall, this is a pretty fun build. If you don't have the memento, you can run something like a Walker Harris backpack, or even like a Sokolov backpack, where you get extra SMG damage. You can run one of those too, and maybe put the Talent Bloodsucker. You'll get bonus armor on kill, or you can even put Adrenaline Rush whenever you're within 10 meters of an enemy, and probably even put like Intimidate on the chest piece instead of Obliterate. You'll have a lot of bonus armor. You could probably even run Intimidate on this one as well if you do have the memento. It's just really up to you. Find a little ways that kind of works with your playstyle and everything. But I hope you enjoy. We'll get straight into the gameplay. If you guys like the video, please comment down below. Tell me, how are you running this build? I'm sure many of us have heard of this striker backfire build with the world modifier. Let me know in the comments. Enjoy. I'll see you all on the next one.
Water, as evidenced by these images. At one point, years ago, up to 1/3 of the Martian surface was covered by ocean. Martian exploratory craft has sent us evidence of the more recent episodes as well. There are also minerals present on the surface of Mars that could only have been formed in a liquid water environment. Today,
network signal detected.
Sounds promising.
Data corrupted.
Damn it. Guess we keep looking. Secure the final hall. Maybe you'll find a terminal there. Finish mopping up these assholes and let's see what we can find. check out the server just to be sure.
Target locked. Initiating launch sequence.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone, this is not a drill! We need to evacuate the building right now! Repeat, this is not a drill!
Backup power activated. Launch sequence initiated.
One more! They're gone!
I'm gonna remember killing you. It's been a while since I could say that about anyone. Come to save the day, huh? But you're a real goddamn hero. Enough small talk.
Fancy gear.
Rocket launch backup power activated. Launch sequence initiated. Rocket launch backup power activated. Launch sequence initiated.
You're starting to piss me off. Quick and painless is no longer an option for you.
Wyvern, what's your status? Wyvern, come in. Wyvern! Fuck!
The antiviral cylinders are secure. We'll make sure they get safely extracted.